When I break this piece of cake, it instantly crumbles into tiny particles. But these particles didn't magically appear. They were always inside, waiting to be revealed. But in the universe, atoms weren't waiting inside anything. Scientists say they came from nothing. So here's the real question. If atoms formed from nothing, then what created nothing? Nothing, a word we use casually, but in cosmology, nothing is the most misunderstood concept in existence. But what do we really mean when we say the universe came from nothing? Is it no matter, no space, no time, no quantum fields, no laws of physics? Or is it something else entirely? Because here's the twist. Physicists don't agree on what nothing even is. Some say the universe emerged from a quantum vacuum, which is not truly empty. It's a sea of fluctuating energy. Others say time itself began at the Big Bang, meaning before it, there wasn't even a before. And then some scientists suggest something even stranger, that nothingness might be a state full of potential, like a canvas waiting to create existence. So if nothing is not really nothing, did the universe ever truly come from nothing at all? When the universe was less than a trillionth of a second old, all of space existed in a hot, dense, chaotic state. During this unimaginably small moment, known as the Planck era, our laws of physics simply stop working. Reality becomes unrecognizable. In this era, particles, the atom's ancestors, began to form from pure energy. Energy transforming into particles isn't magical. Einstein predicted it with E equals mc squared. But then comes the paradox. Where did that initial energy come from? If energy became matter, what created the energy? And what created the nothing where energy appeared? Let's imagine true nothingness for a moment. No atoms, no light, no space, no time, not even darkness, because darkness needs space to exist in. But quantum physics tells us something shocking. Even the emptiest possible vacuum isn't empty. It's filled with virtual particles that appear and vanish instantly, popping in and out of existence, like tiny sparks of creation, flickering inside nothingness. So is nothingness actually full of potential? A boiling sea of possibilities? A canvas of creation? Or is our understanding of nothing simply too small for the truth? Every big mystery leads us to the same door, the Big Bang. But what came before it? Did anything exist? Some theories say the universe was born from a quantum fluctuation. Others propose a previous universe collapsed, creating ours like a cosmic heartbeat. And then there's the multiverse, a set of theories suggesting that our universe may be one bubble in an infinite cosmic ocean. If that's true, then our nothing might simply be the space between universes. But who created the ocean? What created the fabric that holds infinite universes? When science reaches its limits, philosophy steps in. What if nothingness is a human illusion? What if the mind can't understand a state where no space or time exists? What if nothingness is simply the absence of the things we know, not the absence of everything? Some philosophers argue, nothing is impossible. There is always something, even if it's the rules governing existence. And that leads to the deepest question. Do the laws of physics exist independently of the universe? Or did they also appear from nothing? To answer this, we must go deeper, not into space, but into thought. Because the universe may not be a physical story alone. It might also be a story about limits of understanding. When scientists look backward in time, they can trace the universe all the way to a fraction of a second after the Big Bang. They can describe temperatures, densities, mathematical fields, quantum fluctuations, and the formation of the earliest particles. But the moment you ask what existed before that, everything breaks down. The equations collapse. Logic fails. Reality stops making sense. Some theories suggest that nothing was never truly nothing. Maybe it was a quantum vacuum, filled with invisible possibilities. like the crumbles hidden inside the cake before it broke. Not particles, not atoms, but potential. A strange sea of maybe, where the laws of physics flickered in and out of existence, like ripples that never fully formed. In this view, the universe wasn't created out of nothing. It emerged from a deeper level of reality that we can't directly observe, but that always existed beneath the surface. But this leads to a deeper question. If the quantum vacuum existed before the universe, then who or what created the vacuum? Where did the laws of physics come from? Why is there a set of rules at all instead of blank absolute non-existence? Every time we push nothing one step back, it turns into something. It refuses to remain empty. There is another idea equally mysterious. Some scientists say the universe may be part of an eternal cycle. There was no beginning and no end. Instead, the universe expands, collapses, and is reborn again and again. In this scenario, our universe didn't come from nothing. It came from a previous universe, a cosmic phoenix rising from the ashes of the one before it. But again, who made the first cycle? What started the very first chain? To escape this puzzle, others propose that time itself began with the Big Bang. If time didn't exist before the universe, then asking what happened before is meaningless, like asking what's north of the North Pole. Nothing created nothing, because there was no before in which creation could occur. This is a clever idea, mathematically sound, but emotionally unsatisfying. Feels like a loophole, not an answer. And yet, even if time begins at the Big Bang, something must have caused that beginning. Something must have triggered that first spark of existence. A quantum fluctuation, a mathematical field, a timeless state, something beyond dimensions, or something beyond physics entirely. Let's zoom in very, very close, into the smallest scales that science can imagine. Smaller than atoms, smaller than quarks, smaller than space itself. At the Planck scale, reality becomes foamy, chaotic, unpredictable. Space and time fluctuate wildly. The concept of nothing becomes blurry, because even in perfect emptiness, energy never fully disappears. This restless quantum activity could have spontaneously ignited the universe. But again, what allowed quantum mechanics to exist? Where did this strange rulebook originate? Imagine if the universe is a book. You can flip through its pages, galaxies, stars, atoms, particles, all forming an epic story. But every book needs paper, ink, and an author. So what is the paper of the universe? What is the ink? And who or what wrote the rules that the universe follows? Perhaps the deepest truth is this: maybe nothing is the greatest illusion of all. Maybe there is no such thing as true emptiness. Maybe existence is built into the foundation of reality, the way numbers are built into mathematics. In math, you cannot create the number zero. Zero exists because the structure of mathematics requires it. Maybe nothingness exists because the structure of reality requires it. And maybe from that nothingness, the universe inevitably emerges, like a seed sprouting from soil. But what if the universe is not emerging from nothing, but from information? Some scientists argue that reality itself is a kind of computation. The universe behaves like a self-updating program, and the Big Bang was simply the moment the system began running. If that's true, then nothingness wasn't a void, it was the moment before the first line of code executed. And who or what wrote the code? If we travel the other direction, from the largest scales of the cosmos to the smallest parts of the atom, we find patterns repeating everywhere. Electrons orbiting a nucleus look faintly like planets around a star. The structure of galaxies resembles neurons in the brain. Cosmic webs resemble biological networks. It raises a chilling possibility. Maybe the universe did not form in the traditional sense. Maybe it unfolded, like a pattern encoded in a deeper fabric that has always existed. This leads us to the most philosophical idea of all. What if nothingness and existence are not opposites? What if they are two sides of the same coin, intertwined in a way we cannot fully grasp? Just as breaking the cake reveals particles hidden inside, perhaps the universe is the unfolding of something that was always there, but invisible. Maybe nothingness is not empty. Maybe it's the canvas on which existence paints itself. The truth is, no one knows. Not scientists, not philosophers, not theologians. The question stands at the frontier of human understanding, a wall beyond which our minds cannot yet travel. And yet, we keep trying. Because the moment you look up at the night sky, you realize something profound. The universe is not just out there. It's inside us too. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe the universe created nothing so it could create us. Maybe consciousness is not an accident, but the very reason existence exists. Maybe the universe wanted to be known. And somewhere, beneath all the galaxies and all the atoms and all the mysteries, that original nothingness still whispers its question. If everything came from nothing, what created the nothing? After everything we've explored, we return to the original question. If atoms formed from nothing, what created nothing? Here are the possibilities, based on everything modern science suggests. 1. Nothing was never truly nothing. It was a quantum vacuum, a sea of fluctuating energy. 2. Nothing was a transition state, a point where laws of physics changed, like ice melting into water. 3. Nothing was the beginning of time, meaning no before existed. 4. Nothing was the fabric of a higher dimension, from where universes bubble into existence. 5. Nothing was an illusion, created by our limited understanding. So maybe the universe didn't come from nothing. Maybe it came from a reality we don't yet have the tools to understand. Every atom inside you was once pure energy. Every breath you take is built from stardust. Every part of you was shaped by forces older than time itself. And the question, what created nothing, might be the key to understanding where everything truly came from. Tell me in the comments, do you believe the universe came from nothing, or from something we cannot yet imagine? And if you love exploring mysteries like this, don't forget to subscribe to Beyond Universe.